Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm afraid I have a sad job today. I need to let everyone know that Patriots Point lost a member of our team this past weekend. And he was part of this is William Myers, lots of folks call him Will. He's part of our paint crew. He's been here since 2016, incredibly kind, gentle, quiet, just a real solid presence, hard worker. He was a recipient of our Employee of the Quarter Award for the very first, when we initiated the program in 2020, and has just always just been, he loves Patriots Point, and his sister was telling us how important Patriots Point was to him, and it's just been really sad for our team to lose William this week. I want to read just really quickly a line from a performance review that David Coates wrote about William. William is a model employee who performs at the highest level. His overall performance is exemplary, and he sets a standard that others should strive to emulate. His dedication, reliability, craftsmanship, and professionalism make him a valuable asset to Patriots Point and the paint shop team. We will really miss William. We're really, our staff is really very sad about this news.
Thank you. Let's take a moment of silence here and think about William and his family. Thanks. We certainly appreciate everything William has done here over the years. Beverly, Yorktown Foundation.
I always have a few technology issues, and today's issue is about color. So I do know that we don't use orange in our brand, and I don't know why it shows up this way, but hopefully that's the extent of the troubles, so we'll just go with that. I wanted to start today. I'm really excited to be here today, and I'm very excited to have many of our members of our board here. I'm here today to present two things: our year-end review, and then our campaign plan as we move forward. But before I get into either one of those, I would love for our board members to stand, and I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves. Starting with Kevin, our board chair.
All right. I'm Kevin McDearis. I've been on the board since 2016, I think, and chairman since June of 25 or July of 25. Honored to be here today. Hope and look forward to getting to know all of you better. And my day job is I'm Chief Technology Officer at Blackbaud.
Daniel Reed. I've been on the board since May, and in my day job, I'm Director of Finance for Kiel.
Hi, I'm Doug Sharp. I've been on board for about 3 years now. My day job is I'm one of the owners for Lola, the restaurant. I think last time I mentioned to you guys all got excited. I actually told you about my career and nobody said a thing. They all just looked at me. And then I talked about that and everyone said, oh, that's great. So anyway, I'm delighted to be here.
I'm Chauncey Clark. I've been on the board since 1929. I've really enjoyed my ride here, and I think we've got a new board coming in play and a new board director, and we're making some headway here. Yes, so thank you for coming and seeing our show.
Melissa Bossi. I have been on the board, I think, about 3 years now. Most recently was the interim executive director for the foundation after we had a transition, and had the best hire I've ever made, Beverly. And I've most recently started at Newport News Shipbuilding in Charleston, their Charleston operation. So this is a Newport News built ship. So really proud, full circle moment to take on that role and also serve on the board here.
I'm Chauncey Clark. I'm new to the board in May, and I'm looking forward to serving. I've been here about 30 years, and I'm excited to be a part.
And we have another joint shared board member online, Pat Waters.
Good morning. Good morning.
So
I wish
Pat,
I were there.
Pat, we wish you were here too.
so
I'll be back.
Pat, kind of helps us connect the dots to make sure that we're all moving in lockstep. And I really appreciate our board coming here today. I wanted you guys, and I think Allison agrees that this is important, to know that behind us and behind the foundation is a whole army of people. And these are a few of the leaders of that army who is getting ready to make this happen. So you're not alone. Just know that. You're not alone. And you're in good hands. So thank you guys so much for coming out today. Okay, so year in review. What happened last year? I started in September. Kayla, my colleague in the back, Kayla, you want to stand real quick? Kayla is our Director of Development and Marketing. Kayla and Melissa had navigated the transition, and then we got my boots on the ground in September, finished 9 months together, and in my first stint, I think we did a lot of good things. So what did we focus on? We focused on strengthening our membership, expanding philanthropic support, increasing our corporate partnerships, and the membership program and the corporate partnership program are both new, less than 2 years old. So that's kind of exciting for us. It's a tool we're using. We helped commemorate the 50th anniversary alongside America's 250th anniversary, and most importantly, we laid the runway for a transformational capital campaign. And so that's really what this was about, is campaign readiness, getting the foundation ready to move into the next phase. I have here some goals and accomplishments. You know, first year on the job, the first thing you have to do is meet the budget, right? And we were able to exceed our budgeted revenue by 6.7%. We controlled our costs. We connected with the community and stewarded over 1,000 gifts. Established our baselines and identified opportunities, and then we laid the groundwork for the campaign. I put together for our board a 7-year look back just in how the foundation has grown, and you can see that the roots are starting to deepen, and they're starting to really entrench themselves, and we're priming ourselves to continue growing at an accelerated pace. So it's exciting to know that the work that has happened in the past to get us ready has taken root, that we've got a donor base to build from. We're actively building it. We've got a foundation with systems to build from. We're actively building it, and we're starting to really see the fruits of our labor. What did we do for the museum? This is maybe the most important question you guys want to ask. This past year, out of our $800,000 budget, we were able to contribute over $300,000 in direct museum support. Now, that's not all that we generated for the museum. Some of our projects are ongoing and they carry over year after year. So, for example, we're in the middle of Operation Restoration, Helicopter Edition, which we're trying to raise $135,000 to paint the helicopters. So we've got about $65,000 in the bank. So that's a project where we're building until we can pay it out. So don't feel like you're not getting your fair share. It's just maybe it hasn't all happened quite yet. But we have quite a bit in progress, and we were able to make some important contributions. Education and scholarships, you can see, was about $35,000 this past year to allow mostly JROTC students from across the state of South Carolina to come for free. We covered their costs to participate in Operation Overnight. You've got to inspire the future generations, right? And that's something that we're really proud of. We supported the employee fund. We have funded some events here at the museum. A big part of that was the 50th anniversary campaign magazine. We were able to help make that happen. Supported the volunteer program and their volunteer appreciation night, and then we made some contributions to the museum experience and worked with the town of Mount Pleasant on hosting fireworks. So those are a few highlights. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting, and mostly you hear about what we do over and above. You know, you've pretty much heard about the things that we've done all the way along. But when you take a little deeper look into who our funders are and how our funding has grown, this is really just strictly looking at our fundraising data. And over the past year, we had 1,035 gifts. We generated $491,000 in fundraising revenue. And the average gift size was $474. For comparison's sake, last year we received 836 gifts, and the average gift size was $406. So it's good to see the number of donors growing and also the average gift size growing, which I think holds in line with national trends. Yes. And then you can see where our donors are choosing to give. So our biggest fundraising event last year was our golf tournament. We raised over $100,000. doubled in size. And then the second most popular thing for people to support is our membership program, which has taken off this past year, and we're hopeful to see that continue. Speaking of membership, we did see some growth in our membership retention and our renewal rates this year, which we're happy about. Membership was sort of flat, but revenue was up. And the number of households with memberships it's right behind this screen here. It was just slightly down. So what that's telling us is that people are joining as members at higher levels. Maybe not as many people are choosing to renew their membership, but they're joining at higher levels, which means they're starting to turn the corner from getting a membership to buy tickets because they're coming to see us toward getting a membership because they want to support us philanthropically. And we think that's a noteworthy trend, and we hope to see that continue to grow. Interesting, Kayla and I took a little time at year end to look at where our people are. And this is really going to drive how we approach the future for foundation growth. Our members come from 31 states, and our donors come from 43. So we're really excited to know that it's not just a local thing. I think we always want to build our local participation, but it's nice to know that we have a national appeal and national involvement. So looking ahead to 2027, we've set some goals to continue our operations, continue raising money for the helicopter project. We're working on a new exhibit with Allison and her team, which we're really excited about. But most importantly, we're getting ready to bring the museum master plan to life. Now later today, you're going to hear from the Crawford marketing team. And one of the things that they are going to present to you is some data and research about what our visitors think and what they want. And one of the things that struck me as I was listening to their preview yesterday in our development committee meeting is that this really all comes back to that beautiful master plan that you guys created a couple of years ago, and how we turn that into reality. It will make this interesting. It will revive the ship. It will revive Patriots Point. So we're really excited about that. Allison and I have worked together very closely on creating the master plan. You can see the brochure, the current version of the brochure in front of you there, and I hope you'll take a chance to look. If you have any questions about the information in that brochure, please let me know. But I think this is the biggest thing that our foundation has done for the Patriots Point in quite a long time, and we're very excited about the opportunity. So, $9.5 million. The whole point is to bring that beautiful master plan to life. And what are our goals? We're going to try to raise $9.5 million over the next 10 years. That means that everybody has paid by the end of 10 years. so hopefully we have all the pledges in the bank in the next 5 years, but we can collect all the payments at least by the end of the 10-year cycle. We want to engage our local and national community. Our goal is to secure 50% of the gifts in a quiet phase, which is beginning. Hopefully after today we will begin officially the quiet phase of our campaign. And what do we need? We need your support. We might need your connections. And so after we talk about this today and I answer any questions you have, I will be coming to sit down, of course, with every one of my board members to say, who do you know? How can we connect? How can we network? And I would love to sit down with any of you who are willing or interested to say, who do you know? How can we connect? How can we network? We're building a prospect list of the top 150 donors. We hope to have 100 conversations in the next 12 months that will give us some seed ground for that quiet phase. This is a giving chart that I created. There is some ebb and flow in here, but this is basically how a campaign works, is you get a lead gift that's going to be a significant chunk of the campaign total. And once you have that lead gift, it feeds the others. What you want to remember here is, you know, traditional fundraising 101 says you have a 10-to-1 prospect to donor ratio. So for every one gift you get, you might get 9 people that say not interested, right? And you have to prepare yourself for that. The top 7 donors on our list are going to be responsible for about 60% of the goal. And so those are the 7 donors that we have to get right. How are we going to do that? We're going to make sure that all of our prospects have linkage, ability, and interest. And we're going to make sure that we have the right people approaching the right prospects. So that starts with building a campaign committee. I have been making a short list of who I would love to see on the top of that campaign committee. You may have some ideas about who would love to serve on that campaign committee. I would love to talk with you about that, but hopefully sometime this fall, that campaign committee will come together for the first time, and they will help rank the top 100 prospects, and then we'll help give assignments about who's calling who. So this will continue for a little while until we get 50% of our goal. And at the end of that, basically what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate our responses, we're going to evaluate our commitments, we're going to finish building out the collateral, and then we're going to launch the public phase of this campaign. Does anybody have questions? I know that was a lot of information really quickly.
Any questions?
That's very impressive.
Thank you.
Very much so.
It is. I think you're doing it right.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I have a whole board behind me that's helping me make sure I don't trip. So that's great. Well, I appreciate you guys today, and you will certainly hear more from us in the future. And thank you so much for this opportunity, and thanks for supporting our foundation.
Thanks so much, Beverly. And I want to offer my apologies. I was so focused on why that bar was orange.
I think orange is a pretty color.
So it begins.
Well, that's why I was so focused on it. Anyway, and I did not properly introduce the foundation, and I apologize to each of you for that. The Yorktown Foundation is extremely important to everything we do, and it becomes more important every year as it grows. And since I happen to be one of the three original founders, I have a real good feel for how far it's come since those early days. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, they provide scholarships, they provide help in everything we ask them to do. And they try to help us. They don't try to tell us what to do. They try to help us do what we, with the staff and this board, things we need to do. And they do it extremely well. And Chauncey, Kevin, all of y'all, we can't say thank you enough. And sorry I didn't say that on the front end, but it's really important, everything you guys are doing. Obviously, this new campaign is going to mean a whole lot to us as we go forward. We've got to, as we've already rethought our exhibits, now we've got to do it. And we thank you for everything you guys are doing. We appreciate it. Okay. Nick, got finance?
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone else on the board. So last month I had great news, and I feel like I want to keep the train rolling. So last month I announced that we had fully paid off the Laffey loan, which was a tremendous success. Thank you again to the board for allowing us to make those multiple larger payments. And now I'm happy to announce that in the FY27 state budget, it looks like we are being allocated $10 million in state funds for our permanent or our landside building that we've put in a state request for. So that's just tremendous news. Of course, much thanks to the governor, the legislature. Between that and then the remediation last year, it's just been a tremendous show of support from Columbia these past couple of years. Just amazing news. So I just wanted to lead with that. It's just outstanding news. In less interesting news, our year-end financial audit continues. I am still working with our independent auditors on wrapping that up. I should have drafts of the June 30 financial statements for y'all's review in the middle of September. So by the time of the next finance committee meeting, we'll go over those. But nothing really materially changes from the financial statements I've already prepared. The revenue, the cash, all the expenditures will remain the same. It's just more the year-end financial accounting entries. The disclosures we're required to make that don't really affect cash or anything. That's the only hang-up. And then on the personnel side, I know we don't really talk about personnel, and you'll hear from Aramark here in a second. I'm sure y'all are all aware that we transitioned to Aramark starting on 8/16 with the retail, the gift shop, the eventual food service. one important thing to note is, and this, when we embarked on this journey, we knew from a business perspective it made a lot of sense. But there was also the human aspect, right? We had these employees of Patriots Point. They were hourly employees, but they were still our employees, and they were gracious enough to take over, I believe, 11 out of the 13 hourly employees, and the only reason they didn't take those other two was because they didn't apply. So that human element was really important to us, that they take our employees with that transition. That was really important to us. So again, thank you to Guy and Ennis for giving a soft landing place for our employees. And from what they tell us, our employees are enjoying it. It's been a seamless transition. So just again, very thankful to you all for that. So, I wasn't going to get into the minutia of any financial details. You're welcome to ask any questions or ask me or Allison later. But that concludes my report.
Thank you, Nick. Any questions of Nick?
I just want to give you an affirmation of what you just said. On a golf cart ride back yesterday afternoon after our meeting, and the golf cart attendant said, "I'll be back." He went somewhere down there. I'm not sure. I think I'm in the right direction. I'm not quite oriented yet, but picked up this elderly lady employee. And she saw my tag, and she said, "I just want to thank you for the way y'all handle the transition and the people that the new companies put in place." And it was really impressive that she didn't have to do that. She didn't know me, but took the time to say, "I really appreciate it."
I'm very glad to hear that. Yeah, and again, we can't say enough to the Aramark team for making that as painless and seamless on our employees as possible. So, and again, once you go down to the retail ticketing, you'll still see the same people that were working there. So it really is very, very seamless. So,
Any other questions, comments? If not, thanks, Nick.
thank you.
Sure. Operations and facilities, David, David Coates.
Good, David.
Thanks, Chris. Morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, board. Good morning, visitors. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to David's first ever board report. Just be gentle, please. So anyways, I'm here. I'm the maintenance director, and happy to be so. 10 years ago, I came here. This was my dream job, so still here. Anyways, I wanted to go through some of the peer improvements, the permanent projects that we've been going through, and since late in 2022, we have been very busy. It's been a beehive around here. It started with a little bit of water that was somewhere where it shouldn't have been, and from then on, it went to the highest levels. The highest levels responded. Boots on the ground. We've been through the middle of a oil remediation, emergency repair session started it off, and the team showed up on a day when we were closed for a hurricane, or a weather event, I'll say that. But that went on. We did that through the end of the year. And the next year we started the oil remediation, which was a huge effort and a very successful effort. We followed that up with our currently just completed permanent tank repairs. So still a lot of work going on here. So I'm going to start off with the projects. Project 9554 is peer improvements, which I'm happy to say is getting ready to kick off. So that's been put out. We did phase 1. We've done the designs, the drawings. We're into phase 2. Phase 2 was awarded to IPW, a local construction company. And they have, all the contracts are signed. They've been reviewed by OSC, and we're ready to kick that off. Tentatively, I've sent them a date for next Wednesday for our pre-construction meeting. So that will go. After that, they'll mobilize. They may have some materials to get together, but they will give us the start date, which we're hoping will be very early September. That's scheduled to last about 100 days, and that is going to alleviate a lot of problems that we've had with spalling on the road beds, some curb work that needs to be done, the pilings that they've got some rebar work and some gunite work and other work that's got to be done to it. We're going to remove the education dock. That is just beyond its time and beyond its need. So we're hoping that goes well. Very well-known company, highly recommended. Gel Engineering, who wrote the specs and everything, has worked with them many times, so we feel good about this contract. It should not interfere with anything going on at the museum. It's written in the contract that it will not close the museum, so anything that has to be done to the roadway bed will be done after hours. So that's that one. Permanent tank repairs, which I briefly just touched on, but that's 9545. We just submitted the final paperwork, the A1, to the state to close that. That was hugely successful. There were no hiccups in that job whatsoever. That job went on. We had a good partnership between the contractor, which was Shipwright out of Florida, and as their subcontractor, the salvage company, was Isla Marine. They were great business partners, and the maintenance team provided a lot of the work. We fabricated almost 600 blanks and shapes. We did all the cutting, all the welding, and we provided them on a just-in-time basis so that they could stay in the tanks. So we were able to get through all 68 outer hull tanks. They're tight. So basically what we done was we created a bathtub effect. That's what we're calling it, but it's technically a berm. So all the outer tanks are full of fresh water. And of course, now that we did the oil remediation, all the inner tanks are fresh water. But all we have to do to see if we have a hull leak now is check salinity in the outer tanks. So we'll always know if we've got a hull leak. So that's a big help to us. So that was done, like I say, that was 68 tanks. That job ended on August the 9th. We did not get into the contingency funding. We stayed under budget, and actually they were given a mobilization advance, which they sent part of back. So we got about $250,000 of that budget back. So that's that one. Because I can't remember the numbers. I know the jobs. 9546 Retail Village, that went to phase 2. This week was approved by SPA, and so that's ready to kick off. That is beginning. That is a temporary retail village, and that with construction starting and a goal of completion by April of 2027. 9547 is the last of my projects that I'm kind of ramrodding. That's the dry docking evolution of the USS Laffey. And that has been well underway for some time. We are gathering facts and figures. We have estimates from all the major players. We're in the process of getting our, which is up for public notice right now, listed for public. Army Corps of Engineering dredge permits, South Carolina Department of Environmental Services dredge permits. Those are all in the works. There should be no issues there. We've been in contact with our tour boat partners here at Aramark. We're not going to interfere with them, but we are well underway to getting this project and taking care of the Laffey, which is one of the most, what's the right word, James?
Important, maybe?
Important naval artifacts of our history. How's that?
Amen.
I'll leave it with that. Yeah. Okay, so, and then the other things, maintenance is involved in everything. We do every load in, load out for every event on this ship, which, and I'm not an expert in this area, but there's probably 300 a year or so. Somebody back there can correct that. But, we're getting ready for the museum master plan too. So we are actively painting from one end to the other of the hangar bay, because you have to have a good blank canvas to start with before you put the first piece of anything else in it. So we've got that going on. We're constantly working landside. We take care of all the landscaping now. We take care of all the pest control on board. We don't sub any of that out. We have a licensed pesticide guy. So all these things that, maintenance costs money, but maintenance is not here to cost money. Maintenance is here to save money. All these things that do not have to go to outside contractors, it's a win for Patriots Point, and that's the way we intend to keep it. Barring any questions, that's the end of my report.
Any questions of David?
Oh, good news.
No.
Thank
you very much.
I'll give you an A on your first one.
Thank you.
Great job.
Seriously, I think in all the years I've been around, as you all know, I've been on the board a couple of years, and I think we've got the best staff now that we've ever had, without a doubt in my mind. And you can imagine, just by listening to that very brief report, of what it's like to maintain our facilities, these ships. And we've all come to rely on David and his crew in a huge way. And thing that always amazes me is I think he has questions before I have answers. And, or I have questions, he has answers. And it's just it's a really comforting thing when you're talking about a ship. That remediation project is, those of you who have been on the board for a while, some of you have been coming to our meetings, just amazing what that project was like. And David and his crew managed through all of that. The Laffey dry docking, they've handled all of that, which is, you also can imagine, is quite a task. Just appreciate everything you and your guys do, David. Museum and Education, Kenny?
Good morning. Thank you, everybody. After all those amazing reports, I feel like I should just stand up here and say the ship's cool and kids like it. I mean, geez, collecting all the money and fixing the ship. I'll be brief. So we've launched into the new school year. Our EIA registration has opened up, and I'll get into that in a minute. But this is an exciting time of year for our department. So with the Flight Academy, the 3-point program, which I've reported on previously, is underway. And those guys are just pedal to the metal. We're going to finish 2 of our partnering schools in this month. I mean, school just started, so they didn't waste any time getting started. We've deployed iPads to the schools, which is crucial because that's going to allow us to collect much needed data before and after the program so we can measure its effectiveness. So far on the books, we have 841 2-hour Flight Academy students. And 10 schools have committed to the 3-point program. If you remember, last year only 8 committed and 6 completed. And so this year we're on our way up, and that number will grow. We have a total of 15 classroom simulators that will get deployed throughout the Tri-County area. On the 5th, our program manager was able to go and meet with every single JROTC and CTE teacher in Charleston County. So that's hugely important. Out of that, we gained 2 partnering schools for the 3-point program and really was able to advertise all the resources we have for those instructors and educators. In partnership with CSU, we hosted 22 students from Hanseo University in South Korea. They came, they spent a week in Charleston, and we were one of their stops, and they, every one of those individuals is involved in some form of the aviation industry, whether they're pilots or engineers or logistics, and so they really took to the Flight Academy, did a great job. We had a lot of fun interacting with those individuals, and it's a beginning of a new relationship we have with CSU that I hope to grow in the future. So EIA, as I said, our registration opened on August 10th. We already have over 3,000 5th graders signed up, 800 enriched self-guided, and that number is going up every day. Last month I introduced Kelly Kennedy, who's our logistics coordinator, and that poor soul has to talk to every single one of those teachers and principals and ROTC leaders and scout groups. It all goes through her. And so she just doesn't stop talking on the phone all day long, along with putting up with me. So she's doing a great job, and I really appreciate that. We're in the process of writing the next EIA grant application for the next funding cycle, and so I'll report more on that next month. But we have some really exciting things planned for the year. Also on August 5th, the other half of our education staff went to the North Charleston Coliseum and met with hundreds of teachers. There's 3,000 teachers in attendance, all Charleston County teachers for professional development. And we were able to share all the resources and opportunities that we have for them. And from that, we gained 1 3-point program school and numerous 5th grade classes signed up the day after. So that was really great, and continues a really healthy relationship we have with the school district. If you guys get a chance, there is a new Laffey exhibit on the pier. It's a series of panels that tells the entire timeline of the USS Laffey and its service all the way until it arrived at Patriots Point. We did this for a number of reasons, but the overall drive was to bring a little bit of the ship out into a more public area to engage the public in a different way and open it up to a wider group of people to learn about its incredible history. I'll have to give a shout out to Brian Parsons and Jim Vickers. They did a fantastic job collaborating with my team and taking it from an idea to content to design to installation. Those guys are great. In Operation Overnight, as you may be aware, we don't have campers in the month of August for Operation Overnight, so staff has been taking this opportunity to deep clean. I shared yesterday in committee, our program coordinator, Bianca, is literally on her hands and knees with a toothbrush, deep cleaning. So those spaces are in tip-top shape and ready for our guests come September. And along with Operation Overnight, along with the EIA opening up, a lot of those students coming for our structured programs engage in the Operation Overnight program as well. So as EIA books up, we'll start to see Operation Overnight book up as well. And that brings to mind, I also wanted to take a moment to thank the foundation. Since board members are here. The foundation has always been such a strong supporter of this department. The scholarship they offer for Operation Overnight is so crucial. So many of these students wouldn't be able to come to the ship, wouldn't have this experience if it wasn't for that opportunity. So to all the foundation folks out there, thank you very much. We really appreciate your support. That's all I have for you. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Kenny? Well, thanks so much, Kenny.
Thank you very much.
All right. Development, Chris?
Good morning. I am going to start today by introducing a new member of our marketing team. We did that yesterday with the development committee, Kristen Bertolino. She literally wrote the book on newsletters at the Post and Courier, and we're happy to have her. So she's a Tar Heel with many degrees in media, broadcast, communications, history, so she's got it all. She's going to be great. So thanks, Kristen. We're happy to have you. I want to thank Southern Strategy, specifically Brandon and DeWitt, for helping us connect with Darlington. Last week, you may have seen the press conference we had on the flight deck. We connected our state's most prominent ladies, the ones that are most well known. The Fighting Lady, of course, the Yorktown, the Lady in Black at Darlington. The governor was here along with state and local officials. Mayor Haney represented both Town of Mount Pleasant and Patriots Point and did a great job up there as we announced the details for the Southern 500 coming up here in Labor Day. And so the NASCAR gave us access to Chris Busher, the driver of the number 17 car. His team is sponsored by the Build Submarines team, and they had that car here too. So really great connections all the way around, from Newport News up where they're building the submarines to having that here, to having him on board and taking a lot of our tours where we have pictures and we're able to use a NASCAR driver in our advertising. Which really brings me to where we're going in the spring. Our demographics are so similar to NASCAR's that Crawford will talk about it soon, but we're going to start doing a little bit more with marketing with them. And so spring will be our first test of that going into the spring break time period. So we're really excited about that. I think it's a relationship to last for a long time. So just a great event last week, with more than 10 million eyes earned through the earned media of that broadcast, of that press conference. And thanks, Megan Fernandez, I see you back there, Post and Courier, for attending and covering that for us too. So it was great. Our marketing team has been working throughout the ship to publish blogs, press release, and other content. We've got stuff out there this month from the Blue Stars Museum program that really gives veterans admissions to the ship. We've got the appointment of Charlie to the board. Coverage of Patriots Point as a budget and family-friendly Charleston vacation in their itineraries for folks looking for those, and coverage of the SC7 expedition and the closing ceremonies here on the Yorktown. So any kind of thing, we get coverage for all sorts of things and reach all sorts of different kinds of people. So another great month there. As far as events, we had 6 event rentals in July, which brought in 3,000 people on board. In August, we have 4. Those numbers seem low, and it's because it's really, really hot. And so people, as you know, walking up, they really don't book in July, but come September and October, it goes 5-10-fold. And so Patty will be running around like crazy, and it's just in time for Innocent Guy to come in and help us with that lift with Airmark taking over as a booking partner and caterer for events rentals. So great time for that. The rest of this time for the development committee is for the presentation of the marketing plan for the year ahead. So I'd like to invite Lauren Austin, our marketing director, and our agency of record, Crawford, up here to give them an overview of all the amazing things we have planned using the resources that you guys provide in the budget for advertising. So thank you very much. Any questions before I sit down and they take over?
Anything, Chris? No?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. So as Chris mentioned, we have our friends with us from the Crawford Agency, and I'm going to pass the mic off to them. But just to give you a little background of our relationship with Crawford quickly, we have been going on 7 years of a partnership together with their support for us for all things marketing and advertising for Patriots Point. They are based out of Greenville, South Carolina, and this past January we worked together on an RFP, and they are now our new agency of record starting for this new term as well. And we have been working since January to put together a marketing plan, which I have copies for you all of the documented marketing annual plan for Patriots Point. And thank you to everyone that walked through a very in-depth presentation during our development committee meeting yesterday. This today is just going to hit the highlights of that presentation from yesterday. And I'll let you guys take it away.
Thank you. Hey everyone, I am also Lauren, a little confusing, but I'm the account team lead here at Crawford. I've been working with y'all since the start of Crawford's relationship 7 years ago, so really exciting. We have Emily here, who's our head of strategy, and then also Rusty, our creative director. Like Lauren mentioned, this is going to be a little high level today. We're going to talk about creative from last year. We're going to talk through the media plan for this upcoming year and some creative looking forward. So not getting too nitty gritty in the details, all the data today, but hopefully some fun and exciting things for you to look forward to this year. So I'm going to let Rusty kick it off with the recap of the creative.
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to show you some of the things we did this year. Obviously, the 50th anniversary was a big deal. We had a lot of fun kind of bringing that to life, including with our billboard where we've had a new fact about the Yorktown every week for the year. We're going to continue that out. So that's been fun to constantly update and kind of just keep reminding people of all of the amazing fun things that they might not know about the ship. We've also reached out into some out-of-home this year, the billboard, but also some wrapped cars for like ride shares and things, and pedicabs and stuff, kind of meeting people where they are, and especially visitors in town, so they're seeing our message are there, so maybe even if they didn't come in thinking about us, we can kind of get added to their agenda. And then I think anyone who's been on the ship knows our volunteers are some of the secret sauce. They have these amazing stories, you hear all this incredible stuff, so we had the pleasure this year of sitting down with some of them and kind of hearing some of those stories, and we've cut these into some TV videos and online, and this is the first one that's run, but there'll be more coming in the next as we go throughout the year. So I'll let you kind of take in this first one. Or not. It's really good. It would have moved you to tears.
It is good. Do we put those on our YouTube page or something after they're on there?
Yes, yeah. So if we can't get it to work here, we can send out a link after the fact. Sorry about that with the issue there.
Okay, so looking ahead, lots of things in plan for the upcoming year. This represents an overview of the media spend. So you'll see several different tactics going on. This is developed essentially looking at what's performed really well in the past, as well as starting to look at some new ideas, new things to kind of test and learn. So Lauren, will take you through a few of those highlights for the upcoming year.
So Rusty talked a little bit about it, but continuing our out-of-home activations, we have some in Charleston, like he said, high-impact boards that people are seeing on a daily basis, but also expanding out and reaching people in Columbia, Greenville, Merle's Inlet, those places we know they're traveling in, and might see the board and think of Patriots Point while they're visiting Charleston. One of the newer tactics to us, I know not new to Patriots Point, direct mail. We can do some really highly targeted direct mail pieces, so we're going to do a little test there, making sure direct mail and mail in general is making a comeback. Mailboxes are emptier than they've ever been, so let's take advantage of that. We're not competing with so many people anymore, so we're going to do a small test of that and see how that goes. Charleston Airport, this is a huge buy for Patriots Point. We were on the waiting list for many, many years. Finally got off that waiting list, and we were like, we're never letting this go. So we'll be there forever if we have to. We have a huge screen at the billboard in baggage claim with the video. We'll probably replace it with something new and exciting this year. But be sure to be on the lookout for that at baggage claim at the airport. Rusty mentioned pedicabs and car wraps. These are around town, seeing people in downtown Charleston, meeting them where they are. So this will be a spring break activation there. Carta bus wrap, this is another really exciting new activation this year. You may have already seen it, but the bus was just wrapped this past month. We'll be making routes in downtown Charleston. Another thing, we were on the waiting list for a very long time. Very hard to get on the Carta buses in Charleston, but we're starting this year, and so that bus will be out and about all year. Charleston Visitors Bureau, this is not new to you all, but this is a full package on the Visitor Center wall, online. So if anyone goes to visitcharleston.com, they're seeing that Patriots Point tag there. Just some upcoming exciting print. We'll always do Post and Courier, Moultrie News, those tried and trues. Discover SC, which is the South Carolina State Visitor Guide. Charleston City Paper, Traveler of Charleston, and then some group advertisements. We meet groups a little bit differently. So finding those decision makers and Group Travel Leader and some other publications. Sponsorships, continuing some of these long-standing partnerships we have with the South Carolina Stingrays, the hockey team here, Charleston Battery, and Charleston Athletics. And then as Chris alluded to earlier, NASCAR partnership. So we will have a partnership with NASCAR and the race in April in Darlington, the Cookout Southern 500. So lots of exciting exposure. Yeah. And I'll let Rusty talk us through creative looking forward.
Sure, just a very brief overview, but as we go into this year, we've identified some different groups. We want to make sure that we're talking to them when we're talking to them. Like, our media team's amazing. We can be very direct, just whether you're just kind of a family or you're a history buff or you're local to Charleston. Make sure our messaging is kind of matching who you are and what you're looking for. And then also a thing we're focused on this year is in that same way of, if we're talking to families, let's talk about the add-on that's going to make your kid really excited. So not only are we getting you to here, but we're increasing the ticket price when we get here. If you're the history buff, let's make sure you know about our Captain's Tour and our Admiral's Tour. So, let's sell the whole ship, but let's also sell some things that when they get here, they're really going to experience, but, can kind of add to their overall experience.
So, any questions?
Any questions of the agency or Lauren?
Yeah, I've got a question about the add-on. So I get on the boat and there's excursions on the boat that I got to pay extra, or I will pay extra for to have a better experience.
Yeah, you can sign up for the Captain's Tour or the Admiral's Tour, or you can do my nephew came and saw the VR thing, so I had to buy him a ticket to the VR thing. So it's those kind of things, but we haven't always put them face forward in some of the messaging because we want to get people here and talk about it. But now, as we get really targeted, if it's the families, tell them about some of the things so they're coming here wanting to do it already versus finding it here and maybe they'll pay for it.
That's trying to get it,
kind of reel them in.
Yeah. Well, lastly, if I may, I just wanted to echo what Chris was saying earlier. I know Crawford is, one piece of our overall marketing plan and team and everything. So we just want to thank you guys for all the support.
Thank you. Allison, Executive Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I am very happy and excited today to hand off my executive director's report to our new partner, Aramark. So today is day 6 of our official engagement with them. They have been just crazy busy trying to get everything up and running, but I thought let's take an opportunity just to let them come and share with you all some of what's going on, some of what the plans are, and you saw breakfast, so you get a little bit of a sense of what's coming. So Guy Berry is our general manager, and I'll invite Guy to come up.
Hello everyone, good morning. Good morning. So again, kind of like David said, this is my first meeting too, and I'm not usually the talker, so bear with me here. Let me see here. All right, so first of all, kind of before starting, I just wanted to kind of on behalf of Aramark really say thank you to everyone that was involved with this transition, from the board to Allison's team, to the maintenance staff on site, to the security, to custodial. Really, everyone has made this transition absolutely fantastic. And to have a successful transition in these ways, it's really that partnership and the communication that really drives that and makes it all possible. So on behalf of Aramark, thank you very much. It has been very collaborative and fantastic. So thank you very much. So about me, just for a second. So my name is Guy. I've been in hospitality for about 15 years now, hospitality management for about 12 years now. I've been able to work in some pretty fantastic places, the Grand Canyon, the mountains, Oregon, Sequoias, all these places, and I could honestly say that this ship is probably one of the most fantastic things I've ever seen. So thank you very much for welcoming me on board and making me feel at home here. So I appreciate that. So let's jump right in. So one thing that kind of we want to work on kind of clearing right off the board is that we're not two different entities here, right? Is that Aramark really sees ourselves as an extension of this property and an extension of the PPDA. And essentially with that comes constant communication, right? It's working with the PPDA team every single day, keeping that constant communication, and essentially anything that we sell, anything we serve, any communication with the guests really has to represent the standards that they've already set, and also the Yorktown and the men and women that have served on this ship, right? So that is essentially what we're growing off of. This is part of the opening team here on day one, is the photo there on the right. So kind of cool. So August 16th was the big day. That was a transition for the ship shop. All right, and the number one goal with that day was essentially to make it a flawless, kind of seamless experience for our guests, right? That's why we're all here, to take care of them and share these incredible stories. So I can honestly say I think it went very successfully. I really don't think that a guest that walked in on the 16th had any different experience than they did on the 15th. So that was part of the kind of the main goal, and I really think that we were able to greet them and welcome them on board with the same experience. So that was fantastic. So within that realm, right, we're looking to build some momentum. So we already have a new cooler on site, new merchandise on site, but now it's kind of growing that, right? So we have brought in a professional merchandiser who should be here in September, and essentially what they're going to be focusing on is building out some of these Yorktown collections. It's a big part that we feel like has been kind of missing, and really developing that and jumping into more of the Laffey, more of the Yorktown, and having those items that no one can get anywhere except for here on board in our stores, in our gift shops, and kind of creating that experience, right? More things coming with that, but for kind of the 16th and this week, that's kind of where we've started. So here's a few kind of photos, and just to kind of explain some of these, on the left is before, on the right is kind of what we've done so far. So when first walking into the store, we wanted to really open up the aisles, right, and move product around to where it encourages people to get away from that main walkway, get out and really see what we have to offer and see what they can get to represent kind of their trip out to the Yorktown, right? Because it's about having something available for those guests to grab and take and be able to really remember their experiences. So on the left, obviously it works, right? What was in there is currently working, it's selling, it's doing good, but we're moving more towards intention, right? Intentional placement, which is kind of where we've gone to on the right. The 50th anniversary is a huge deal. We want to really put that front and center and really finish the year strong with that. So that's essentially some of the placement here. And then things to look forward to, right? So we're in the process of remodeling the Geedunk so we can start serving some fresh food on board. On the left is what it was about a month ago. Then on the right is where it was yesterday when I took the photo. So kind of building that out, right? We're planning on having fresh food on board, and really that's kind of going to be one of those experiences that really changes the way the ship operates, right? If we can get those guests on board, and not just the guests, our volunteers, our employees, if they can go take a break for a few minutes and have some hot, fresh food, that's a massive change in the right direction. So that's what we're working for. More to come on that in the following weeks and months. And then probably one of the things I'm most proud of, right, we'll talk about the team for a minute, is that we were, as Nick said, able to retain the team that is already here on site. Their experience and their institutional knowledge is critical, right, for this whole transition to make it flow seamlessly. And fortunately, that's what we were able to do. We were able to bring that team on. With that, that's our foundation, right? Now we're looking to build on that. We're bringing in culinary experts, catering experts, operational leaders that can come in and really try and strive to essentially bring that experience up to the next level and make it a memorable experience for our guests, right? With that said, we are working on hiring people, but again, we're not just trying to fill positions, right? We're trying to bring in these hospitality professionals and really kind of develop hospitality careers within the Charleston community. And so that's kind of what we're striving for. So looking ahead, next weeks, months, we're really pushing to obviously start our elevated dining experience on board, right? That's kind of one of our key critical areas is once we can get food and beverage operational, we're going to kind of play with that, see what works, see what doesn't work, and really make it to where we can give everyone an experience that they like there. And then also with the ship store, what we want to kind of enforce and keep representing that this is not just a one-time refresh of the ship store, right? It's not, oh, we'll come in and change some fixtures and bring in some new stuff. This is going to be something that evolves and we keep creating and keep building on and changing our collections and see what works and see what doesn't, just so that we can essentially present a good representation of everyone in this room and also the men and women that have served previously and also the Yorktown and Lafayette in general. So that is what we're striving for, and we're looking forward to being on board with you all. So I think that's all I have. That is all I have for today. So any questions for me?
Any questions? Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman?
and I know I'm just here visiting,
Mm-hmm.
but in the news the last few weeks has been a lot of information about at least 2 aircraft carriers that the United States has in Iran area and on the way to the Iran area, and issues that have been created because of the length of time that sailors have had to be on, and why it's important to the United States to have these available aircraft carriers serving where our military needs them. Is that something that can be recognized out for the public, that there is the availability to see what goes on an aircraft carrier? Because it's so much in the news today.
I think certainly we can take advantage of the increased exposure that's out there right now. I think that's a great idea. We'll look into that.
Yes,
how
sir.
we can do that.
Thank you.
Well, you know, our plan that we're talking about, the museum plan that they're starting, that they're funding, the whole point of that is to show how these people lived on this ship at that time, with all the old stuff and that fascinates children, and then to connect that to it. You know, this is a hard job for people. I think that our planners could certainly do that, and just kind of contrast the old and the new a little bit.
Any other, Charlie?
Between the food service and the gift shop, how many employees are you going to have on site?
So right now I believe we have 11 employees. I think we're looking kind of to see how this develops, right? With Steel Beach and everything else. We're creating, kind of developing our staffing plan based on that. So it's kind of fluid right now, but for right now we're looking at 15 to 20 people. And then obviously once Steel Beach is activated, we're getting more involved in the catering, more involved in operation overnight. We're looking to really kind of grow those numbers and adjust where we need, right? I mean, we need to be able to flex with it, and you know, we're all kind of learning this together. So, as we can, we'll bring in more people, and we'll make sure that that they can accommodate the experience that people need.
Thank you for mentioning Steel Beach because I did want to share with you all. Aramark rolled into our planning for Steel Beach right away. So their team is very much involved in figuring out how they're going to plug into that, and really, it's largely going to be their facility because it handles the retail, the dining, and the ticketing. So they have all this expertise with what their needs are. So his team is also working very closely with our team and our architects and engineers on the plans for Steel Beach, and that is evolving. And so what you'll see with the ship store is they know they're going to make the transition in April to a new facility. So they're being very intentional about what they do in the current facility, that it can be moved and it can be transferred to the new spot in April.
Exactly. So between fixtures and everything else, anything we put in the store right now needs to be something that essentially we need to be able to incorporate within that new kind of landscape, right? So so that is essentially what we're looking at for now. We're getting in a whole bunch of that stuff in the next few weeks.
And I would invite all of you as you leave today to walk through the ship store on your way out and see the changes in there. You'll notice a difference.
Perfect. Anything else?
Yes. Not. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I understand you've been really enjoying the mild summer we have here. Thunderstorms.
Yeah.
I understand it's from the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, Pacific Northwest.
So he's loved it here with the heat.
You know, they say we
really predictable thunderstorms. You know.
Yeah. They say we have rain up there. No, we don't. No, we don't. But being never east of Arizona, this is definitely different. So, but I enjoy it very much. It's been fun. So thanks you.
Thank you.
Okay. Allison, anything else?
Was it?
If not, are there any public comments? Seeing none, if not, the chair will entertain a motion to move into executive session to discuss contractual and legal matters pertaining to Patriots Point.
So moved.
Is there a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. We'll take about a 5-minute break and
Okay, I tell you, you never know.
Okay, all right. We're back in open session. There were no votes taken in executive session. Is there a motion to express our support for the and thank the foundation for the development of their campaign?
So moved.
Second. Are there any comments?
So what is this an endorsement?
Just an endorsement of their campaign. Hearing none, move into a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Susan, are you
Grace.
leaving?
Yes.
Out of here.
I have to go to a birthday party for one of my old friends before they die.
No hurry. Be careful about. Okay.
Bye, y'all.
David, you got a
Yes.
motion from the Finance Committee?
Yes, the Finance Committee unanimously passed a motion not to ask for any more money after receiving the $10 million of the $25 million. So basically, that's the motion, and we know just a little speaking here, we got the $10 million, and we feel like we don't need to go ask for $15 million for different reasons, but mainly that we might need that favor down the line, and that was the thinking by it, but it did pass unanimously.
Would you be open to an amendment to that, a friendly amendment to that, to sort of clear it up a little bit by just saying we won't ask for any more money, for the state in the 2028 budget for the state?
Okay.
Any money? Okay.
You could change my whole deal and say that.
Are there any? Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution by the Finance Committee? It doesn't require a second. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Thank you all very much. Our next board meeting is September 18th. Be thinking about this retreat. Let us know what you think about that, and we'll get these dates out to you. And otherwise, thanks so much for your time today. We stand adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.